This is Red Light, Green Light 123 with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Red Light, Green Light 123 with D and Z. I am Z, and it is week 9 already. It is time for us to give you our 1, 2, 3 top fantasy starts or green lights and top 1, 2, 3 fantasy sits or red lights. Let's start with our sits, our red lights. D, who you got?
First up, I got Jonathan Taylor. Odds are, if he's on your team, you're struggling. And I don't think he's going to have a good week this week against the Pats. So I'm sitting him. TB12. Tom is going through a divorce. And a lot of ish. 45-year-old single Tom is not as good as 44 married Tom. I'm sitting Tom this week. David Montgomery. Anybody else who wears a Bear uniform. I think Khalil Herbert is the better back there, so you might want to start him over David Montgomery this weekend.
All very fair. Very fair. Oh, I got to start with Justin Herbert. Chargers coming east. I think he's hurt. He's just not having a great year, and the Falcons are not as bad as we thought they were going to be. Backhanded compliment if I've ever given one, but I just don't think Herbert is going to light it up, especially with that receiving core as it currently is constructed. I'm sitting Joe Burrow. I think the Panthers are going to get after him.
Get him.
They're going to get him. They're going to get him. Oh, they're going to get him. And I think the Panthers are going to get after him. That offensive line has not been fixed. Jamar Chase is out. His number one target is out, so that's going to be a problem for Mr. Burrow. And Davante Adams, he's lost right now. That team, the Raiders are circling the drain, and I don't think that Davante is going to have a great game. The Jags, they play hard. Are they the most talented team in the world? No. But will they play you hard? Will they play you tough? Absolutely. And I think that will be a nightmare matchup for Mr. Adams. Those are our red lights. Time for our green lights. Who are your top 3 green lights for the week? D.
First one, Miami defense against the Chicago Bears, who are in sell mode. Number 2, Alvin Kamara versus the Ravens D. I know the Ravens just got Roquan Smith, but Kamara is heating up. He had his best fantasy game last week. He finally scored a touchdown, 3 touchdowns, as a matter of fact. So I hope he keeps rolling. I think he will keep rolling. And number 3, DeAndre Swift versus whoever they're playing.
That would be the Packers.
Packers. I think he's finally healthy and ready to do some damage. See what he got.
Well, I also DeAndre Swift, but thankfully I have more guys. So we're okay, people. We both, lock of the week, DeAndre Swift. We both agree on DeAndre Swift. But Ramondre Stevenson, that guy is a dual threat, right? He'll get it out of the backfield. He'll get it out of the flat. The Colts are not great. So I expect combined about 180 yards and maybe a touchdown. Maybe. Damian Harris may be a goal line vulture, but I think that Ramondre Stevenson is going to have a monster game. Sticking with the run game, Kenneth Walker III against the Cardinals. He's a solid back, much in the way that Saquon is. He's the engine that drives that offense and allows Geno Smith to do what he's doing this year. And I think he's good for, let's go 85 yards and a touchdown. Solid numbers, respectable numbers in the flex to running back 2 range. I think that he definitely will be a stud this week. And For me, number 3, I'm going to have to go with Devin Duvernay of the Baltimore Ravens. I think he's going to have a good game in the kick return as well as in the offense. 2 touchdowns, 1 kick return. I have a good feeling about this. He's going to have 1 receiving and a kick return. And he's going to show that he's a pretty damn good all-around player. He's shutting me up, that's for sure. But those are ours. What are yours? Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in those DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on Twitter at FadeRouteDNZ. It's time for us to run the go route again, but we'll talk to you next week. Want to get on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast. Drop us a DM on Twitter at FadeRouteDNZ. Comment on our YouTube channel, The Fade Route with DNZ. Questions, comments, picks, segment suggestions, you name it, we want to hear from you. Get at us, in crowd. Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.